right. Hello, friends, foes, and nemesis. My name is Sneak, and we are here to do many things. Sorry. It's been a morning. It's been an afternoon. It's still morning for me. It's afternoon for probably everybody else. But I hope you guys are well, and we are here to check out some comedy today. We are here to check out one of my favorites, one that we have already featured on this channel numerous times. His name is Josh Johnson, and I saw yesterday that he had some new material up, and I was very, very excited. So I am excited to be here, and I thought, oh, well, I'm gonna watch it, and anybody who wants to come and watch it with me and watch and see me laughing like an idiot, most likely, is welcome to do so. So, this evening at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern, our friends at Trial TV Live are going to be doing their weekly show, Shoot the Shit with Squeegee. And I don't know if I can get away with that this early in the show. And that is going to be an amazing show because Squeegee's high school friends are going to be coming for Thanksgiving dinner, and we are going to be getting stories. We are going to be getting all of the stories. Apparently, it's going to be going sideways very quickly. So I'm excited for that. And that's why we're doing this a bit early instead of later, is because I have to go and learn the stories. Because really, it's the people who've known you longest that have the best stories about you. So anyway, 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern, our friends at Trial TV Live will be doing Shoot the Shit with Squeegee, and it will be a great show. So if you want to hear high school friends tell funny jokes about each other, it will be great. Now, without further ado, we will be presenting our friend Josh Johnson, and we may have some updates as to the Sean Combs bail hearing, as we are supposed to be hearing an update about that today sometime this afternoon. So if we hear about that, I will stop and just quickly update you. But I don't really want to stop a genius while he's at work, so we're gonna let this guy run. And so without further ado, may I please present to you Josh Johnson, Freshman 15, a stand-up comedy film. The link for this video can be found in the description, and the link for Josh Johnson's YouTube page can also be found. He nearly has 1 million subscribers. If you like what you see, please go and subscribe to Josh.
Are you guys ready for an amazing show? I want you guys to start getting loud, start clapping it up, start clapping it up, start clapping it up. More energy, let's go, let's go, let's go. Clap it up for Mr. Josh.
So tomorrow we tape the set that's like the sort of New York set. So I'm doing obviously jokes I've been doing on the road and stuff, but a little bit more stuff that's like Brooklyn centric and everything. I remember early on when I was living here.
I love that he has like a stand-up uniform, and it's like jeans and a gray hoodie, and so it's uniform no matter what. And I really like the consistency. I don't know if that has to do with like my neurodivergence, but seeing like the different stages, but him doing amazing different comedy, just because he has such a volume of material. So it's just kind of it's almost a juxtaposition that you see him different stages all the time, different material all of the time, but he is always wearing the same thing. And his material is always fresh. So, and he's always fresh, obviously. So I find his stand-up uniform to be amazing and funny. Hi, Ronnie. It's so nice to see you. The best video that I have on my YouTube is the one that you and I were reacting to when I was just laughing like an idiot. So I am really glad that you're here, because that was probably the most fun I've had so far. This is 24 hours before Josh Johnson's show in Brooklyn.
I got to do a showcase, and then I got to open for somebody at the Bell House. So we sold out both shows, which is like, I know it's not crazy for like any successful comedian is like, okay, you sold some tickets, so what? But just for me, it's like this whole week of like, we sold out Talia Hall in Chicago, and that's where I started. And then that's the most tickets I've ever sold. I don't know. I'm just like really excited about that, because I think that as much as you don't want to get caught up in any sort of like money, fame, whatever, it's just proof that what I'm doing, people are resonating with. And so that feels really special. So tomorrow we're doing 2 shows at the Bell House, and I don't know, I'm like a kid, man. I'm really excited. And it's because I've lived in New York so long, I feel like I'm doing it now for like my friends and
awesome.
Yeah, I just get to show what I've been working on in a way that still feels like pretty personal, you know?
Wow.
That's amazing.
I love y'all.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for being here. This is like,
That's a special show.
I've been living
That's
in
awesome.
Brooklyn for a long time, but I grew up in Louisiana. Nah. This is the thing, when you tell people that you grew up in Louisiana, whether you're at a party or a show, there's always somebody that's like, oh my gosh, I love New Orleans. And then I have to be like, yeah, that's not where I said I was from. Now, don't get me wrong, New Orleans is the best part. It's just the whole state around that city. You know what I mean? New Orleans to Louisiana is if you had the most beautiful blue eye, but your whole face is fucked up. Like, it's... I didn't say I was from a good part. And I was broke while I lived there too. And when you're poor in a place that's already terrible, you're just more aware that you're there. You know, I was very present in my situation. I knew if I moved, it was going to be on foot, you know? And it's weird because sometimes you'll just be talking about your life. You'll tell someone that you grew up poor, and it starts a weird pissing contest you didn't mean to get into with anybody. You'll be talking about your life. I grew up poor. And they'll be like, oh, you think that's poor? Like, I'm not saying you weren't poor. I'm saying I was also being poor, all right? And they'll be like, I have a favorite flavor of dirt. And it's like, okay, all right. That's sad. That's sad. I'm not saying you weren't being poor over there. I'm just saying I was also poor over there. There's plenty of poverty to go around. I don't know if you've heard. Things are pretty bad for a lot of people. Just to give you an indication
Holy crap.
of how broke my neighborhood was. When I was little, my neighborhood was so poor that the church closed. If you understand the gravity of that situation, just imagine God being like, I ain't got it, all right? I don't know what to tell you. This is a bad neighborhood. I'm leaving, all right? I'm not dying again. I lived in Louisiana, didn't have any money. I moved to Chicago, was somehow poor. And now living in New York is the first time in my life where I'm like making money. Things are going well. Able to take care of myself and my family and stuff like that. But it's crazy because all those years I had no money. And the first year I had any money, they taxed me like I always had money. That's pretty fucked up, isn't it? Like I just got, you can't give me like a leap year or something to make sure this sticks. I did the thing. I did the thing you're supposed to do. I pulled myself up over imaginary bootstraps people are always talking about. As I'm edging my way up the cliff of poverty, the government is staying at the top like, we would like most of that money. And look, don't get me wrong. I grew up the beneficiary of tax programs. I have no problem paying my fair share of taxes. I just don't like the way that we have to pay taxes. Just tell me what I owe. Like, send me a bill. Don't make me count. This is their job, and if I do it bad enough, I go to jail. That sounds fucking insane. Because I owe whatever you say I owe, so just tell me what I owe. Because then when you get the number wrong, you get a letter from the IRS the next year where they're like, hey, you were actually off by like $2,000. So you know! How do you know how off I was unless you knew the number the whole time? This is a setup. We just don't do anything else like that when it comes to money, you know? Like, you never go out to eat on a date and you sit down and you look at the menu, but there's no prices. But you order, you eat, you enjoy yourself. But then at the end of the meal, the server doesn't just walk up to you like, so, how much do you think it costs? Don't worry, I'll wait.
Gonna end up going through my nose.
Oh, and by the way, if you guess wrong, there is an officer waiting outside. Like, it's insanity. It's just crazy in a country like this, right? In a country with this much of a wealth gap, this much of a general income gap, where your financial well-being is left completely up to you with very little financial education to go out into the world with. It's crazy in a country like that, we still have game shows. That doesn't feel weird to anybody else that every night hundreds of people are getting on live national television to win life-changing amounts of money, and they lose and they still clap. That's the most Black Mirror shit we do. How has no one cursed on a game show yet? You went from $80,000 to zero. How has no one ever just looked down and been like, fuck? That's how we feel for them. Why aren't they freaking out? Every game show, they ask the contestants what they would do with the money, and the answer is almost always practical. You know, what would you do if you won tonight? And people are like, oh, I got some student loans I'd pay off. Love to pay off the rest of my auntie's house. You know? And then they lose. They go from $80,000 to zero. But by the time the camera pans them, they're like, maybe next time. It's like, did they give you drugs before the show started? Why are you so calm right now? Host of a game show is always a millionaire. That doesn't seem to bother anybody. It's never someone with a median income that could be just excited for you if you won because they understand the stakes. It's always like Ellen DeGeneres. And she's leaned over next to you like she's your friend, you know? She's like, oh, wow. What are you going to do? I mean, $50,000 is a lot of money, you know? I mean, not to me. No, I could buy and sell your children, all right? But for you, there's a lot of money, you know? And the audience is on your side. Don't you other poors want him to win? Like, we live in an almost cashless society. You use your card for everything. You might use Apple Pay for the rest.
Everything. That's something.
And yet, when people are desperate enough, they'll still rob a convenience store or a bank, just get their hands some quick cash to feel like they have a chance. How has no one robbed a game show yet? If I was on Wheel of Fortune and I was in dire straits and I went from $100,000 to zero, I think I'd just be like, I'm sorry, Pat.
Somebody be writing that check.
I think we're gonna have to keep playing. No, fuck that. That was a bad spin. Let me spin again. That's bullshit. Let me spin again. Let me spin up. Vanna, 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 Van, if you move, I will blow your head off, all right? I can touch the screens myself. You think Howie Mandel is strapped? He's not. Go to Deal or No Deal with a fucking gun and be like, open all of them. How about that?
Woo, woo.
I've been watching my friends date, and it's hard out here. You know, it's tough for people, especially because we're not kind to each other. Like, it's terrifying to be vulnerable when you know people are just ruthless, you know? And the thing I watch happen more than anything else, especially between men and women, is we'll use a stereotype to write the other person off. You know? Like, from men to women, it's crazy. It's like, oh, listen to her, she crazy as hell, crazy ass. And then from women to men, it's creepy. Oh, listen to him, he a creepy ass, creepy as hell. You know? I'm not saying those two things don't exist. I'm just saying the threshold to be those two things is incredibly low. Like, in order for a woman to be crazy, all she has to do is have a feeling, all right? Any feeling. It could be positive. She could be laughing. You're like, nah, it's crazy as hell. I don't like that. I want that type of laughter in my life. No, thank you. And all a dude has to do to be creepy is age. That's it. Bro, just be you and 60. Just keep living your life, but be 60. Someone will be like, like. I can't tell you how many times I've been out with a girlfriend. She's like, look at that creep sitting by himself at the bar. I'm like, yeah, it sounds like he's not bothering anyone. Like, let that dude be 60 somewhere. Because what I don't like about it is that it's almost always covering up a thing. It's a thing you don't want to say. So you say the thing that's a stereotype to get people on your side. You know? Like, is she crazy? Is she really crazy? Or did you just get caught? So it is like half the time you were doing something you weren't supposed to be doing, and she caught you, and now in the face of facts and evidence and good points, all you have left is try to make her question reality, you know? That's why dudes be up here like, she believe everything she see with her eyes. She crazy as fuck. Like, I can't deal with this. I didn't sign up for this. Like, just because she saw me do it, she gonna be like, you did it. This bitch crazy as hell. I can't. Is he creepy? Is he truly creepy? Or is he just ugly? Like, when are we gonna start being honest? I get it, he has a crush on you, and it's sweet, but when he looks at you, his eyes don't go in the same direction, and it's upsetting. But we can't just add a whole personality trait. Did we learn nothing from The Hunchback of Notre Dame? An entire Disney movie dedicated to this exact situation. Quasimodo wasn't creepy, heart of gold, but he was fucked up looking. We can all admit it. And he laid his feelings out for Esmeralda. Esmeralda did her damnedest. She really did. Quasimodo told her how he felt. And Esmeralda was like, ooh. Quasi, look, he a knight. Okay, this might be my only chance to get out the hood. All right, you understand. Which is honestly Esmeralda's loss. You know, it really is, because you know Quasimodo was packing. All right. He had to be. Nobody walks like that doesn't have a hog, all right? That whole movie that it was up here doing this shit, like, nah, he was slinging pipe, okay? And he was strong enough to ring the bell by himself. He would have split Esmeralda in two. She wasn't ready. She wasn't ready.
You know what I mean? The name of the tour has like so many different meanings. Like, there's the 15 aspect of like trying to release 15 minutes every week. There was the, you know, the sort of freshman is like a renewal thing. Like, this is my first year doing stuff the way that I've been doing it. But I still feel like so new. I still feel like a baby sometimes, because then you get around people who are just masterful. Like you see the way that they work and the way they write, or just their stage presence. So much to learn from everybody, and I feel like I'm still just soaking it all up. Like I'm I don't know. Like I still feel like I'm like everybody's little brother sometimes because I'm so curious about how everyone thinks and about how they put together what they put together. Watching people be so much more centered than you even know how to be, that's fascinating. And then watching someone take over with their stage presence in a way that's like magic, you know? It's like I feel like it is like magic sometimes when you look at magicians, and magicians, a lot of them probably know what each other's tricks look like, but every once in a while somebody will create something and they'll pull something out of nowhere that even makes the magicians go like, damn, that's wild. And I feel like that for jokes sometimes, you know, and that's what I want to create for other
The one thing I love, I'm just gonna stop this for 1 second. You can tell how excited and like the exuberance he feels when he's thinking about comedy, when he's thinking about his fellow comedians, when he's thinking about his shows. You know, like when he's thinking about his material, it makes him feel a sense of vitality, and you can totally hear it in his voice. And I'm glad that he gave my ribs a laugh break, because that's good filmmaking, but also holy crap. Okay, sorry, continuing onward.
comics and other people. It's just like you think you know where I'm going and you don't, you know, or just the whole overall thing was like an experience.
Y'all have great laughs. I love y'all because y'all are actually laughing. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be surprised how many people pay money to come to a comedy show, buy drinks, and then still don't laugh because they're self-conscious about their laugh. But your laugh is still you
that's not
expressing
gonna happen
joy.
here.
We can't be so hard on ourselves that we're like, no, my joy is stupid. I sound like a fucking idiot when I'm happy. I'm just gonna sit here and stare so I look normal.
Oh, holy crap.
In the entire time that I've been doing comedy, I've honestly only ever heard one weird laugh. I was doing this show in Amsterdam, and there was a guy, center, dead center. I don't even remember what I said that got him so good. But this dude went to laugh, and I'm not even kidding. There's a perfect impression of his laugh. He went,
I'm mimicking it now.
not only did I stop, the entire audience stopped. And someone sitting behind him actually jumped up and wrapped their arms around, started giving him the Heimlich. Because we were all sure, we're like, that's a dying person. There's no joy in there. I'm not gonna lie, I had a flashback just then. Like that. When you coughed, I was like, there's no way. There's no way he made it to Brooklyn. That's wild.
Holy crap. This is amazing.
Logan and I actually met in Chicago, and we did a few shows together before we started really hanging out and everything. And so it's just, yeah, it's important to me to have.
He has a show, a web series. Sorry, he has a podcast with his fellow comedian Logan, and I will make sure to link it in the description when I am done. So just to
Have him there for stuff because it's someone who I think when you are on the same wavelength as a friend for long enough, you can start to look at each other like that moment, like that moment where something weird happens and then you don't have a person to look at to be like, this is insane, right? It's like Logan is that person for me when it comes to comedy. We have a good way of seeing each other, and I feel like we bring out the funniest parts of each other, so that's been great. We've been doing that for like 3 years now. And so he's also going to be doing the Bell House tomorrow. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
That reminds me of my best friend. And it sounds like a
I
great
slept pretty
friendship.
well. I had that
Awesome.
sleep where you fall asleep and then you wake up in a panic, thinking it's been maybe 10 minutes and it was all night, which I think is good sleep, even though you woke up like screaming. Drinking some white tea, it's apparently even better for you than green tea. And I haven't had it in a while, but I need lots of energy tonight because we have 2 shows at the Bell House. We sold them both out. So I just want to make sure it's a good show for everyone. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little, there's a hair in here. Feel free to cut this. I don't want people knowing I drink hairy tea. I mean, it's not a foreign hair. It's not like a hair that's like not
Tea hair.
from this house, It's recognizable. Now it's and this thing is like $16 or something. So I can't waste this cup. It's dry leaves.
Oh yeah. No, I'm too cheap to waste like an expensive tea bag like that. So I get it.
I think I've been freaking out about getting older in a way. Like I feel like it's hard not to compare yourself with anyone else your age and just or anyone in your career and everything, and wonder if you're not aging in like the right way, And I wanna, I don't know, I wanna age as best as possible because it's coming. There's nothing you can do about it. But there's just so many there's only a few lanes, it seems, as an old man that you can go. There's only a few directions. You could be creepy old man. You could be like an angry old man. You could be a sweet old man. Or you could just have dementia. Like, it's just, these aren't a lot of great options. And I'm scared because I don't know how much you choose. Like, life keeps happening and you keep reacting to it, and every reaction feels rational, but who's to say? I'm scared I'm gonna become like an angry old man because I already hate kids. But not kids at large, not kids as an idea. I got beef with specific children. There's a few of them already that like, oh, one day, you know what I mean? Like, just, I'll tell you about one of them. I was walking down the street and I was minding my own business, how most of my stories start, right? And then there was this Girl Scout. No, you need to be on my side, all right? I'm gonna tell you what she did. Just listen, okay? I was walking down the street and there was this Girl Scout and she over here working her little corner or whatever, like. And she laying it on thick too, like cookies, like all that stuff. And so I'm walking and then I'm trying to just avoid eye contact because she already not at my height level. So I'm just staring straight ahead and she like cookies, all that stuff, right? And then she like leaned in just to make eye contact and was like cookies. And I was like, oh no, I'm okay. Thank you so much though. You have a wonderful day. I said all that. I didn't need to say all that. I didn't say all that at all. I could have just kept walking. I could have acted like something was playing in my AirPod, like something, right? But I said that because I'm like, look, she out here, young woman trying to be an entrepreneur. I'm gonna give her an encouraging word, okay? Not gonna give her any money, but she's gonna, get good vibes off me. So I'm walking. I'm like, oh, no, thank you, but you have a great day. And I'm not even past her yet. She's still right here. As I get closer, she goes, it's okay if you're broke. What? What? Who? What do you do next? Do you know what I mean? This is crazy. This is just, and so that I shouldn't have stopped. I should not have stopped. I should have just kept going about my day. But now I'm like level with, and I stopped. I was like, excuse me, and she goes, it's okay if you're broke. She said it again. That's the Bronx. Like that's something specific in a person to say that I'm closer to you now. That's crazy. You're out here by yourself. Where are your parents? You're out here selling cookies on the corner talking shit. That's so insane. And it's like, what do you do next? I can't just be out here yelling at this. I can't just be a grown black man out here on the street yelling at a little girl holding cookies. Fox News would have a fucking field day. If I'm just out here, they get a still of me like, she's holding the cookies like this. New York Post, black man strikes again. That's no.
Yeah.
What do you do? So I hit her with
collecting
everything
girl
that
guys
felt
out.
like within the parameters of polite conversation to do. I told her, I was like, Santa ain't real. All right. No, because she was gonna find out anyway. And with a little girl like this, Santa ain't coming anyway. So like, let me just. I'm like, Tooth Fairy ain't real, Easter Bunny ain't real. And she was like, I know. And you don't have any real money. And I left. I left because what do you do? So I left. But I did. I was like, I'm gonna go home. And I'm gonna pray. All right. I'm gonna pray against this little girl. Lord, just keep it that same size her whole life. Just. It was a while back where I still hadn't got like my money right. And I remember the AirPods came out, Apple AirPods, and I don't know why, but I wanted them. And I don't even know why I think I wanted them because I knew I couldn't afford them. It was just something to have, right? Something to use as a marker to be like, I got it like that now, right? And so I'd saved up a little bit, but I still didn't have enough. Now I was getting close, and I decided, no, I'm not going to spend this on something material. I'm going to take this money, and I'm going to spend it on something that could be like a memory, something that I won't lose, something that can't just break, right? And so I took a trip to Mexico. And when I was in Mexico, I saw some knockoff AirPods. And they were cheap. And they weren't just cheap by conversion rate. They were cheap in pesos. They were so cheap, I thought they were a toy, right? But I was like, let's roll the dice and see if these really work, right? If they compare to my phone and everything. And so I bought them. I brought them home. And I opened the box. Now, the box was bigger. The AirPod box usually is. And then I opened it up. And then the AirPods were like 3 times bigger than AirPods are supposed to be. So first of all, when I put them in, they genuinely hurt. Like these, I don't have the biggest ears, but these were hurt. I had to wrench them in. I had to use leverage to squeeze them into my head. And then, you know how they're supposed to come here? It's like they were hanging low. It's like anybody that could see me could see these weren't real AirPods. They look like 2 wrenches hanging out of my head. And so I remember I turned them on and I had to press the button because they were so big, they had buttons. All right, so I pressed the button and it didn't even make a technology sound. It wasn't like, it was like, immediately. And I don't know if this is related, but as soon as I turned them on, my balls hurt. I don't know if that's part of it, but I turned them on and it was like, and immediately. And so I turned them on, and then while I had them on, my mom called me. And I've never used any sort of listening device that could connect to Bluetooth where somebody called you and sounded like they were behind you. Like, I hit the button to answer the call. I was like, ding, ding. And then, because you had the ding, ding. And then I hit the ding, ding. And then I was like, hey, mom. And she's like, hey, how you doing? I was like, oh. And I tried it. I tried it for 3 weeks. 3 weeks, every day. I was like, it's not going to hurt tomorrow. Kept putting them in my head, kept wrenching them in. It took 3 wrenches to get them in. It was like, doom, doom, doom. And they both be in. And like, oh. And like, every day for 3 weeks, right? And then finally I had to hang it up. I was like, you know what? If you want something, you got to get the real thing. You know, you got to get the genuine product. And so I went ahead, I put them up, stopped using them, saved up my money, got some real AirPods. But then the real AirPods, they didn't fit in my ear because I had stretched it so much. And my right one snapped back a little bit, but my left one still loose. Like my ear ussy is not tight at all. It's loose as hell. And so if I even yawn, the left one fall out. The left one is consistently in danger. I only put the right one in on a plane. I can't risk it.
So conveniently, I just happened to have the cue cards from when I did Tonight Show.
Our next guest can be seen at the Helium Comedy Club.
Oh yeah, I was doing the clubs that way. And Josh Johnson, see him at the Helium Comedy Club
In St. Louis, November 2nd and 3rd.
Please welcome the very funny
Josh Johnson!
And
Let's
then
hope we don't get
these are the jokes I did.
Guys, I'm Josh Johnson. Thanks so much. Y'all have a great night.
Sorry,
We'll
try
be
not to
right
get copyright struck.
So we are on our way to the Bell House right now. It's finally happening. We're about to get ready for the show. Yeah, still pretty, I don't know, still pretty like nervous in a sense because I'm a little, this is very unprofessional of me, but I'm a little unsure of exactly what I want to do as far as like, I've got the set, but then joke to joke, I'm like wondering if little middle pieces need to be there and stuff like that. So it's like still just tinkering with it in my head and stuff. And there's nothing that I think is gonna bomb. And I think that is most of what doing comedy is like. Everything that I'm gonna do tonight, I think works. So if it doesn't, that will be news to me. I have this one that I'm really excited to do because it's like, I've done it a couple times before, but it's about someone that I know and how she did ayahuasca for the first time. And yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been doing my best to read more, and there's a thing I've been thinking about all year, about how back in the earliest civilizations, if someone wanted to seek a higher self, they always sought some sort of deity. There was a god that them and their tribe worshipped, you know, that made them feel closer to something bigger. And as society progressed and you had slightly more modern civilization, still ancient to us, it splintered a little bit. There was a god, but then there was also spirituality. You could seek a higher self. And then there was also the tribe or the state. There became a thing of, as long as it's not about me, then maybe it can be bigger than me. And then you fast forward to modern times, to today, and it's completely splintered off. Some people, it's still God, some sort of spirituality. Other people, it's a cause. It's something that they feel they can use to make the world a better place, leave it better than they found it. You know, I have a friend who seeks her higher self through drugs. Like mind expanding, mind altering drugs to get a better sense of who she is, whatever that bigger self is supposed to be. And she told me a little while back that she did ayahuasca. And she had always been terrified to do ayahuasca because she wasn't sure of the place that it would take her, and she was ready to see herself in that light, you know? And she told me, and I was like, oh, well, you know what? Good for you. There was something you were scared to do, and you did it. You made it happen, right? And we were talking about it, and she was like, yeah, it's just so serendipitous. You know, I was just at the grocery store, and I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, I was at the grocery store near my place. And I was like, you did in Brooklyn? Like, what?
So, just he does amazing impressions, but this has to be a white girl. How he's talking.
I thought you flew to Peru or something. It's like, yeah, I did at the grocery store near my place. You know, I met this guy and we got to talking and we were on the same vibe and he told me that he had some and I was like, wait. You know how black people have a reputation for talking during the movie? I was doing that the whole story. Like, she's telling me about a story in the past and I'm still like, bitch, get out the room. Get out the room. It's like, yeah, so when, you know, we were talking, around similar wavelength and everything. And so, you know, I went back to his place with him because he said that he had some and he showed me how to do it. And honestly, as soon as I smoked it, and I was like, what? I don't know if y'all have ever done ayahuasca. I've never done ayahuasca, but every documentary I've watched about ayahuasca, it's a drink. There's never a pipe involved. And she was like, yeah, as soon as I smoked it, I could just feel like I felt so much energy. I could feel like my ancestors rushing through me and everything. And I was like, oh, Bethany. Bethany, you smoked crack. Like, I hate to be the one to tell you. You seem excited about everything that happened. I hate to break to you, but you got to be more discerning. This is insane. I can just feel like the ancestors coursing through me. It's like, are you related to Reagan? Like, what are you talking about? It's chaos.
Comedy was the first way I learned how to like really communicate with people. And so watching other people communicate, even if I'm just watching my friend's show, like I'm gonna watch Logan go up tonight. I'm gonna watch Onika before I go up. I think that you get such a slice of a person and who they are when you watch them do comedy. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
It's just.
Do you get nervous?
Before
Are you
I
nervous?
was like, this
I'm
sounds
not-
like a
I'm
white
not
girl.
nervous yet. It
And
might
I'm like,
hit me,
it just be,
like in a little bit.
but then you
Like
said,
probably when the show is starting, I'll probably get a little nervous.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But
I feel like I don't get, once I'm up, everything is fine.
Yeah, once I'm up, it goes away. But it's like it'll start like
Yeah.
once like they start pre-show announcements or whatever. Once lights change, then there'll be a little bit. A lot
Yeah.
of times, not much, but maybe for something like this, maybe a little bit more.
Once I am up there, though, I feel like I am where I'm supposed to be. So it
Yeah.
all sort of melts away.
I'm very grateful, though, to a good portion of my family. Family teaches you how to deal with the same type of people that you're going to meet out in the world as them, right? I feel like I deal with crazy people well because my uncle. My uncle is a conspiracy theorist, but he don't believe in any of the popular ones. Everything my uncle say, I've never heard anybody else say in my entire life. I was at my uncle's house one time. I was just chilling with him, right? Sitting there watching TV. Out of nowhere, my uncle turns to me during a commercial and he goes, you know them kangaroos is a myth. What do you say to that? What do you say next to something like that? What's the plan now? You know what I mean? And this is my thing with conspiracies, is that if there's money to follow, I can understand how somebody got there, right? I'm not saying it makes it true. I'm not saying it's any less crazy, but money is an incredible motivator. It's one of the most powerful ones that we have as people. So if there's money to follow, I could see how someone arrived at some sort of conclusion, as crazy as it may be. So I asked him, who is making money off of all of us believing in kangaroos. And without missing a beat, he was like, I bet them zoos making a pretty penny. It's like, that's... What's wrong with you? Like, what, like, you think there's just a guy? You think there's just a guy in a suit, just a former Olympian jumping as high as he can for 8 hours a day? He's like, you making some good points. I'm like, don't, I'm not in it. I'm asking you questions. I don't agree with your thing. Don't do that. I sat down with this man and watched an 1.5-hour documentary about kangaroos that I didn't need because I'm a believer.
Holy crap.
And at the end, he just turns to me. He's like, that's a deep fake. I know a deep fake when I see one. I'm like, you're beyond help. I think that's why I'm so freaked out about getting older. It's the way that we treat people who are older. It's who we turn into when we get older. You know? Like I've had the blessing of being around people who are much, much, much older than me. There's a relative I have. He's so old, we don't know how old he is. We just, and now he can't even tell us. He's like, from before. A lot has happened. You know, but we know he's over 90 because he got that 90 face. You know what I'm talking about? He already got that. Everybody in here who knows my 90 know what I'm talking about. They all make the same face. They're always like, ah! Non-stop. No matter where you take them, all the time. It's like they're surprised they're still alive. Like every night they go to sleep and they wake up, they think it's gonna be heaven and it's regular earth. And they're like, oh! I'm so old! I used to wonder why they made that face, and I think I figured it out. All of us are still living in the world. We're still active participants in the world. Things happen in the world. We react to them in real time. We still affect change in the world. He's not like that. He's been retired for decades. He's been sitting on a couch watching Westerns. He's not in the world. So every once in a while, somebody tells him something that's happening in the world, and he's shocked. And that's what you're seeing is permanent shock face on people in their 90s. Because I'll say something I don't even think is that groundbreaking. You know, I'll just be chilling with him. And he'll be like, ah! They made women's basketball? I'm like, yeah, dude, a long time ago. Where are you from? You know? But it is a blessing to have people like that in my life. It actually, you know, I appreciate it for what it is. And I hope I get to live that long. But if I do, then I'm going to have a thing. There's going to be one day where I'm like, huh! It makes me wonder what mine is going to be. You know? Like, it's probably going to be a sex thing. I feel like social stuff, I'm pretty malleable and things sort of roll off my shoulder. But I think one day in 2050, I'll be sitting there like, huh! They're sucking elbows now? That's pretty docile. It'll probably be worse than that. That's, you know. Has somebody ever asked you to do something in bed that made you go like, Did the last guy do it? Because like if the last guy did it, I'll do it. But if you just came up with this, I don't feel comfortable. All right? Don't get me wrong. If the last guy did it, I'll do it. I'm not going to be outdone. But if you just came up with this, I need to do some research because I've never heard of that before. You know? I just don't want to do something for someone and then they go out in the world and they're like, Josh loves sucking elbow. It's like, no, don't do that. Tell them you asked me to, all right? Tell him you had to ask me twice, okay? Because first I said no, then I said then I did it. I saw the girl elbow one time, and she asked me to. I didn't get it either. It didn't make sense to me. Sitting there like, is your wiener stimulated? Like, I'm... No.
Oh,
Like y'all look like y'all are together, you know? It's just extra skin. That's what's weird. Like y'all might go home later and get a little freaky and everything, and like, look at your elbow and look at his balls. That's the same skin, you know what I mean? That's why I don't like when women are like, ugh, balls are gross. It's like, you got balls too, bitch. Don't do that.
How do you feel the tour has been this year? Because this kind of whole year has been the freshman tour. And we've been a lot of different places, both flying, road trips, little mix of everything. How's that all when you look back on it?
When I look back, I feel really good about it because I think that we've both grown, and I also feel like we've made better and better
Friendship is
shows.
stronger.
Oh well, now you're ruining it. Don't touch me. This is terrible.
Sorry, this is actually how we are. I'm sorry it's bad for this. This is.
I think that we've made better and better shows for people to come to.
I think so.
I think that for the most part, I can't help but be happy with everything. And then it's great to meet people afterwards and hang out with them and talk to them and stuff. I'm always bummed out when there's like too much of a time crunch to do the meet and greet. Like if we have to leave or something, or if there's another show right after or something, like that always makes me a little sad because I do like to meet everyone and I don't know, I'm a chatty guy.
Yes.
Nice of them.
And that's why sometimes with meet and greets, I'm working as security to keep it moving. Yeah.
I do want to take a second to thank every single one of you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Like, my life really changed this year, and it's because of y'all.
I had to.
You know, like, this has been, you know, my dream to do this since I was a little kid, and I'm doing it now because of y'all. You know, I think if it wasn't for y'all, I'd just be in a room by myself, which would be pretty jarring, you know. Because to me, comedy is a lot like magic, you know. If a magician is doing tricks for nobody in the room, he's just a person lying to himself. I'm about to make this disappear. It's in my hand. You know? And it's the same way for comedy. If I was here without you, I'd just be sitting in a room by myself being like, maybe this is a good idea. So I appreciate y'all. And I've had to do a lot of self-reflection this year. Maybe I can make this idea make sense. Okay, there's a person that I think that I am, and a person that I actually am. And I spend all my time trying to make sure that those two people are the same person. Does that make sense? I don't want to walk around delusional, not really know myself, what I'm like, you know? Best example I can give is, years ago, I was at this 4th of July celebration. It was going to be the biggest one that the county I was in had ever put on. They had spent thousands and thousands of dollars for these like tubed cannons pointing straight up, right? And they set them up all the way down the parking lot, all the way down the beach, almost to the water. And at 8 o'clock, they start firing them off. It's the loudest thing I've ever heard. And it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen because it took up the entire sky. I still don't know what went wrong. But out of nowhere, 2 rows of the cannons fell over. So now they're shooting at us.
And so we scatter, right? And as I'm running, I see this one woman all by herself. As the fireworks are shooting past her, she's just going, oh. And it's like, first of all, what is your plan here, ma'am? Your whole face is down. What is this hand protecting? And then a dude who I have to assume was her husband because he didn't look like a boyfriend because he didn't look good. You know what I mean? Like, he just, I don't know, he had those bad knees like he played football in the 70s or something. He's like, I'm coming, baby.
And he made his way over to her. And she's right here, right? And when he runs over and he gets to her, he does this. Like a standing spread eagle to cover his wife from the oncoming fireworks, right? And then a whistler. I don't know if you know which one that is, but it does a tight circle, no color. One of those is coming right at him, all right? And then right when the whistler was to him, where you are to me, he went,
oh, and then moved out of the way. His wife caught the bullshit in the chest. It was exploding on her chest. And I don't know if you watch anime growing up, but it looked like the bitch was powering up. Like she was like, oh. She looked like Goku for 6 seconds. She got so bright, I was like, she dead. There is no way.
but that's what I mean. There's a dude he thought he was.
And a dude he actually was. Because in his mind, he was the type of dude to take a whistler to the chest for his wife. But in real life, he was a dude willing to find a new wife. Like, thank y'all so much. I'm Josh Johnson. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean it. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for coming out. And there's a lot more to come. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
We did it. Yeah. No, I'm pretty nervous. I might still botch this entire thing. Like this may be wholly unusable. If anybody sees this, it means I thought maybe I slid into home, or maybe we just spent enough money that it would be insane to not put it up. Do you know what I mean? It's like it would be a waste to just not use any of this, even if I did kind of botch it. I mean, do I sound okay? I think I'm getting a sinus infection. Like as I'm talking to you, I'm getting like drainy. I'm just gonna do something to like say thank you for everything. So I'm gonna read it to you. You just tell me if it's like, I don't know, if it sounds okay. All right, ready? When I started in Chicago, I couldn't really dream of doing what I'm doing now. This tour has been life-changing, and getting to come back to one of the places that feels most like home made even more special. Thank you is too few words to describe the gratitude I have for every one of you, but here it goes.
You caught just the end, but
thank you for every ticket that you bought. Thank you for every video you watch. Thank you for saying what's up or love your stuff on the street. Thank you for putting the people you know onto me. Thank you for every comment. Thank you for every video shared. Thank you for following with me as I evolve. Thank you for enjoying the climb. Thank you for changing my life. Thank you for being my friends.
Awesome.
Oh, and thanks for having patience with me. Yeah.
Hey Zach, do you want to watch a 30-minute clip about a guy who, it's a Josh Johnson clip, but it's about a guy who faked his death and moved to Europe. Apparently it's really good. some. There. Actually, it's in his videos. Right here.
All right, he is the newest news correspondent for
Check
the
this
Daily
out
Show.
while
He's
you're here.
hilarious. You're gonna love him. Put your hands together
It gets
for
20 or
Josh
30 minutes.
Johnson.
Okay.
Just talking to my dogs.
I don't know if y'all heard about that dude in Wisconsin that faked his death and maybe moved to Europe. If you haven't heard about this, great. Okay, so basically, what we know is that supposedly there was a man who faked his death and might be in Europe right now. And he has a family, right? 3 kids, a wife, and everything. And one thing we usually don't do as men is give a man the credit that we owe him for being the new bottom, like the new lowest common denominator. Like, as men, we need this man. Don't we need him, all right? You know, anytime you mess up as a man, when there's a man near you who has messed up worse, you'd be like, hey, I could be that guy. You know, next time you forget a birthday or something, be like, baby, look, I'm sorry I messed up. But you know what I didn't do is fake my death and move to Europe. Some people do that. I love you, and I would never. If I
you can get
die,
out of
it'll
one of your
be for
marriages.
real. I'm a good man. When I die, it will be of an ulcer or something. You know what I mean? Something where you've really held the pain in, didn't talk to anybody, didn't try to do anything about it. You know, real man stuff. I'm going to do what men are supposed to do. I'm going to support this family, not go to therapy, hold it all in. And then one day grab my chest like, and you'll know that maybe, hey, maybe
Jump down there?
we should have left this one argument alone, right? Because I would never fake my death and move to Europe. I've done plenty of things, plenty of dumb things. Sometimes I'm just like having a good day, not really paying attention, and then you come in and you haven't had a good day. So you're telling me all the things that happened in your day that were not good. And instead of listening, I'm just sort of nodding, right? I'm just sort of nodding and being like, different versions of like tasting something when you're telling me a story. And then you catch on that I'm not listening. So you ask me, what did I just say? And then I say, what did I just say? And you can tell I haven't been listening. And I know I should listen. I know that you're telling me this to vent because you trust me and you want my input on your day, right? I know that I let you down, but you know what I didn't do is fake my death and move to Europe. I'm not saying it makes me a hero, but it definitely stops me from being a villain. Oh, as men, that's one of our favorite things. When you mess up, but then somebody messed up next to you and it's way worse. You know, it's like when you go out to eat, go out to a nice dinner, you know, you take your lady out. And you're having a good time and everything. And then something comes up, maybe it's a little annoying. And maybe you start to like bicker a little bit, you know, just like at the table, in between the server checking on you, just a little bit of like, well, you don't even know, you know that. Oh yeah, you know that good whispering. You know that in between your teeth, not here. You know, you got both on edge and everything. So you in between the teeth, and she's over here saying everything, but just at that level of like half miming, half voicing, just like, I'm just trying to keep things together, okay? I'm just trying to keep the whole family together. server comes up, is like, "Can I get y'all anything?" "Oh no, we're fine. We're fine. That was a good night. How are you doing? How's your night?" "Oh." And it's tough, because you'll be in the moment, just bickering, and then out of nowhere, a couple next to you, the next table over, that haven't been bickering, the couple that you look at like, why can't we be like them? She stands up and she throws wine in his face. And she's like, "What do you mean your mistress is pregnant?" And all of a sudden you're like, "I'm pretty good, right? Like I'm a pretty good guy. Huh? Can you give me that? I didn't do all that." Like, you got the white wine, you wouldn't have even stained my shirt. Like, I would never put you through that, what those strangers are going through right now. And so it's good. It's good to have a new low as a man. I'm telling the truth. Sooner or later you're gonna be in an argument and you're like, fine, all right, I'm no prize. But I'm here, right? Huh? I'm not in Europe, am I? I talk to you when we have a problem. I talk to you like a man. I don't hide my wallet on the shore. Yeah, this guy apparently faked his death, moved to Europe, and there's a lot of layers here. There's a lot of things to unpack, because let's also not pretend that there's never a reason to fake your death. All right, before we pass full judgment, I'm not saying this dude isn't a piece of shit for doing what he did. I'm saying that there are reasons in life to fake your death. I'll go over some of them right now. Y'all look like you don't believe me. That's fine. Okay, back in the day when I was in Chicago, I was hanging out with some friends. There's about 5, 6 of us, right? And one of my friends, we're all in our early 20s, by the way. One of our friends bought a yo-yo. And like gentlemen, none of us mentioned it. None of us were like, we are out here trying to get the ladies and you brought a yo-yo. You bringing the whole vibe down. And he brought his yo-yo and he was doing all the tricks. You know what I mean? Making it sleep and then popping it back up like a superpower. You know what I'm talking about? Because he had the one that had the little acrylic with the lights. Yes, it had the lights and the little acrylic sound like it would do the when it was at the bottom. If you ever want to hear the sound of women leaving, it's that. And so he's like, and then he was doing around the world and he was doing all the walk the dogs and stuff like that. He was really good if you were 15. And so then, he finally does one and it comes back to shoot up, but it passes his hand and it hits him in the face, right? And he's hurt. Okay, you ever been hurt so bad that you couldn't make noise? It hit him, right? And instead of even screaming, he just was like, oh. It's that hurt where you just have to slap something to transfer some of the hurt while you're hurting. It didn't hit him and fly. It's in his mouth, by the way. It's stuck. We're still looking at it. He didn't move it. It's where his mouth should be. It's just a yo-yo, and he's like. And then he spits out the yo-yo, and a tooth flies out with it. And if he had faked his death,
I would get it. If he was like, I need to start over from here, I would understand. Like, I really do get it, how people get to that place where they got to fake their own death, because this was very hurtful and embarrassing. Or just a guy, I saw this guy online, and he had this weird energy about him, and it happens to dudes sometimes. And he was like that dude at the club that shouldn't be at the club. And I don't mean like he's old or something. I mean, he has an unsettling energy where he's trying to be more fun than anyone knows that he is. You know what I mean? Like, you know that guy that's like, whoa, but it's like no woo is happening. We've all been around that person, like, yeah, and it's like, but it's a barbecue. I don't know why you are trying to bring all this extra. And so that's what he was doing. He was in this club. He's like, yeah, woo, woo. And like, there's not even that many people there. So there's nothing to lay cover. There's not even enough noise for like his energy versus what's actually happening. Because people are just kind of casually dancing. And he, yeah. And then there's a woman that is like near the stairs, right? And I don't know what the stairs lead to, maybe the bathroom or something like that. But this woman is near the stairs and she's like twerking along the wall, and she's like really got it going. Like she's very good, right? And then this guy walks up and he's like, yeah, yeah, and he like slaps her ass a couple times and then starts doing this and everything, and then goes to go down the stairs. But then right as he goes to go down the stairs, his feet give up. His feet decide that they don't want to be a part of him, right? And so rather than walking down the stairs, this man trips with both his feet. I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. This man trips with both his feet and then rides just his knees and shins down the stairs. And when I say rides, I mean, like, have you ever been on a sled? It's like that. It's exactly like that, but without the sled. He's just riding down, Home Alone style, just, and he's screaming, and you can barely hear him scream because the music is loud, but he's screaming so because he's riding his knees and shins down every step. They did not miss a step. Every knee hit every stair, and his shins hit all of the stairs. And so he's like a bird, right? Screaming like a bird the entire way down. He hits every step. And for some reason, I don't know why he thought it would help, but he's holding the handrail the whole time. And he's like, And if that guy faked his death, you would get it. You would be like, yeah, you got to start over. You got to start, I would say, move to a place that doesn't even have music. Like, you got to do some different things. Move to a plateau. That's the type of, don't even have any elevation where you live, because what if you have to go upstairs again? You don't know if you'll make it down. When I was growing up, I knew a kid who was dating someone for a long time. They started dating young, right? And it was very sweet. And it was in the same, how do you put this? It was in the same way that, like, you hear grandparents tell stories about falling in love, is how he fell in love. Because he said early on, I'm going to marry this girl, right? And he had to have been like 18, something like that. I'm going to marry this girl. He said it early, right? And he did the thing that we look at as like the most romantic thing possible, buys a ring within a year, but doesn't do anything with it. Waits years. I bought the ring when I was 19. We're dating. We're 23. I bought the ring years ago because I was sure. I know, right? And, they have their little fights and stuff like that. They have little spats and stuff. But then one day he decides, like, yeah, this is it. And he takes her on a trip, right? And they go on a trip that's like kind of the woods. I don't know. They rented a cabin, but they have their little fights on the way and everything. And overall, it's a nice time, They cook, They watch a movie and everything, and he decides he's gonna propose to her while they're sitting on the couch when they get done watching one of her favorite movies. They both cooked, but then he had a cupcake. He put the ring in the cupcake, and they were gonna share a cupcake. And whenever she got to the middle, that's where the ring would be, he would ask her, right? He had the whole thing planned out, and he even had his speech planned out per bite, because he was gonna take these little bites and then, bite, 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 ring, right? And so he starts it, and he's like, hey, I want to talk to you about something. Takes a little bite, passes it to her, and she's like, what? Takes a big bite. To say they're supposed to be sharing takes an inconsiderate bite. Like this, like when you're a couple and you order something and they're like, can I have a little bit of yours? And you're like, sure. And then they slide a whole more than a little off your plate onto their plate. And you're like, you should have said half then. If you want half, say half. Don't say a little bit when you know it's half. Because you like my orders because I know how to order. You over here experimenting, trying to have an experience, and then you don't like what you got. Now you want half of what I have, which would normally be fine, but you said a little bit. If you said split, then we good. You say split, then we're splitting. That's what half is, splitting. You said a little bit, and now I don't even know what it tastes like because you didn't pick up, because mine came first, and you went ahead and picked off mine, then took half when you got yours. So now I've had at least a seventh of the meal that I ordered that I think is good, but I don't remember how it tastes because it just sort of left my memory so fast. And so she's taking these big bites, so he got to take smaller bites, and he got to turn the cupcake when he passes it back to her to make sure her bites don't interfere with his speech, because now he got to hurry up the speech because the bites are too big. And so now he handing her the thing from the bottom, just bite this part. I'm almost done. And when he hands her what's basically a ring cupped in a little bit of cupcake to try to bite, at the same time that he says, will you marry me? She says, I think we should break up. And so if you want to fake your death, like that's kind of like the opportune moment to be like, oh, yeah, you want to break up, and I want to I'll be right back, and then just move to Europe, I suppose. But yeah. So this dude in Wisconsin faked his death, maybe moved to Europe, and the way he did it, this is my thing. Okay, so first of all, he goes on a kayaking trip alone, right? Which, to be fair, is very much missing activity. You know what I mean? That should actually be in the brochure. Hey, do you want to get away from everything forever? Come kayaking by yourself. This dude goes kayaking by himself, actually texts his wife on like the 11th, and it's like, hey, heading back, whatever, right? But then doesn't head back. On the 12th is when he supposedly would have capsized, or, they think he may have drowned or something like that. They put on this whole search because by the 13th, his family hasn't heard from him. They're concerned, right? So they send out the search, and like a search of volunteers who search acres and search the water. They use sonar. They use all this technology to try to find this dude. And there's actually a dude that works with the organization that does the searching that tells the sheriff, hey, listen, this is weird. Because I'm not saying if I can't find him, he can't be found. I'm just saying I'm pretty good at what I do. And he either not in this water or he went missing somewhere else, because I know what I do. Like I'm very good at this. And we're not seeing anything. We're not seeing any signs, anything. And then, sure enough, they decide to go ahead and look into a possibility of him maybe going missing somewhere else. They also run his name just to make sure, right? And when they run his name, they find that he went to Canada on the 13th, right? So not missing, using his name, running his name so they can travel, maybe go to Europe through Canada, right? And this is where it starts to be clear that he does not know how to disappear. This This is where it's clear he's watched a lot of TV, but has not put in the work, because this is what this bonehead did. Okay, so basically, this man said that his passport was lost because his passport's at home, right? Because I've disappeared, I'm missing, I might have died, right? But his passport's at home. What he did was he just put in for a new passport so that he'd have a passport to leave behind and to use. The only problem is that when they run your name, it's still you. What kind of dumb spy move is that? That's still your name. That's like getting pulled over and handing the cop a fake ID. You still in the car. Like this. And then his wife goes through his computer and stuff, and they find everything. They basically find where this dude has like looked up how to exchange money into a foreign bank. He's looked up how to travel, how to disappear. And this is my worry. I have the feeling that this dude thought that he covered all his tracks because he put everything in the recycle bin. And then left it there. Like that, I genuinely think that's what happened. I think this dude was just moving files like, and they'll never catch me. I'm a mastermind. It's painful, right? So they find everything, and then his wife gives it to the police and stuff. And the police are like, oh, okay, yeah, this is pretty dumb, They even find where he took out a life insurance policy for like, I think $375,000, something like that. And this moment was where I had a journey in how I felt about this dude. Because initially when I heard it, I was like, what a terrible person, right? But then when I heard about the life insurance policy, I was like, wait, maybe I'm judging too quickly. Because if this dude is leaving a life insurance policy for his family, maybe he's just trying to make a clean break. Maybe this dude is like, look. I'm not a good father anyway. Let's at least part ways like this. Let me go ahead and get you some money for your trouble, and I'll go and I'll live in Europe and everything. Most dads leave for free. This dude... There's a high likelihood that this dude was like, let me break you off some bread, right? I'm going to start a new life. You could go through college for free. And then I saw what looks like, it doesn't look like he's tried to claim the life insurance policy, which would also be insane. That would be, I don't know much about insurance and I don't like insurance companies, but that would be hella out of pocket to show up and be like, y'all, I died. I'd like the money from me dying, please. See, the policy says right here, if I die, this is how much whoever gets, and whoever is me and I died. So can you please make the check out to me? And so then I went back and forth. I was like, oh, maybe. No, actually, no, he's just a bad person. Just a bad dude. Faking his death, leaving his wallet, leaving his kayak, leaving his family. And then they find that apparently he's been talking to someone. He didn't just try to leave. Because that's another thing. When I thought he was just trying to leave, I was like, okay. It's not how you handle it. But some people, they have an episode. They're like, I need to get away. I don't know how. But then when I found out, like his family found out that he left to be with some lover in Uzbekistan. That's also when my feelings sort of went up and down because I was like, oh, you're not even doing it in some like I can't live this life sort of way. Yeah, I mean, like you're not having a midlife crisis in that way. You're just trying to cheat. All right, no, I can't get down with this. But a part of me momentarily did feel bad for him because I was like, wait, you met a woman in Uzbekistan. Oh, he's never been catfished before.
Karma.
This is my thing. I don't know if y'all have seen, you don't have to tell me if you know what I'm talking about. We can all just act innocent. But there are in this world illicit sites. Illicit sites where you go to watch people the beast with two backs. And then in these sites are ads for local singles in your area. Or even better, ads for very willing women who would love to marry you in Russia and Uzbekistan. I think my man may have fallen for one of these ads. That or he's been watching too much 90 Day Fiance, because I feel like, come on now, how well do you know this person? And so now you faked your death to go to Europe to be with someone who might not even be real. That's wild. You gonna blow up your whole life for some text messages? I mean, really, how good are those texts? You know what I mean? No one found a picture. No one knows what this person looks like. They just know that someone enticed him in some bad English. And now he's headed over there. And I don't know. I feel like you clearly have to be in a bad place to do something like this. You have a family. You know what I mean? You have people that depend on you, and you're about to throw it all away to go to a place I'm sure you can't spell. Because never forget, this man is an American. That's also what you have to keep in mind here. He over here trying to travel as an American, try to get help in English and stuff. People in Romania speaking Romanian. He doesn't understand it. He's like, I just need to get to Uzbekistan. Do you know how to go left in Europe? Now he gets over there. Who knows what life is waiting for him, you know? I'd like to think that this woman in Uzbekistan really does exist. And she's mad as hell right now. She's like, no, we were supposed to go to America. Are you serious? You can't live with me. Because that's what would be, truly wild. If this dude comes back defeated, just comes back to his family and is like, listen, y'all, look, I know what I did. I'm very sorry. Can you take me back? I've found, a new life here with you. I just want to be back with my family. Because obviously I hope this doesn't happen. But it would be kind of funny if while he's missing this whole time, he comes back home and his wife kills him. That would that'd be crazy. This dude show back up at his doorstep and his wife already got the shotgun and everything. He's like, baby, no. He's like, baby, I don't talk to ghosts.
Holy crap. All right. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching me lose my shit for like an hour now. We added on a little extra after Josh's Freshman 15 movie. We added the missing dad fake death for true love. So I will also put that in the description when I am done. But Josh Johnson is he always makes me feel better. So anytime that I need to just like have a smile, have a laugh, enjoy things a bit, just get my mind off something. Comedy is where I go, and I think people believe it to be an easy art form because some people make it look effortless, and it's not. It's actually incredibly difficult, and the people who make it look effortless are just incredibly skilled. And so just having those people that make it look easy, they're a thrill to watch. But at the same time, he needs to or people need to understand that it would probably bomb if they tried to just at first, it's not that easy. Anyway, yeah, it is. It's incredibly tough. So it's very humbling to try and tell jokes in a room and have crickets. So it's good. Oh, you know what? I haven't checked this guy out, so I'll have to. Because Zach, you and I have a love for comedy, so that's great. But yeah, this was a great time, and it's always great to just hang out with you guys. So, oh, thanks for the laughs. Thanks for yeah. Zach is always used to it. Oh, give Schnork a little scritch for me. Say hi. And I hope that everybody has a lovely Thanksgiving. I hope that you are all well. Lovely Thanksgiving for everyone in the States. Anybody else who is elsewhere in the world, I hope that you have a great Wednesday. It's Wednesday, right? Happy Hump Day. But we'll do more comedy because that seems to be the thing that I like to do. It's just left my ass off. So thank you, Josh Johnson. Thank you, everybody. It's been great. Both of the dogs decided to say hi, so it was wonderful. Thanks, Ronnie. Thanks, Haley. Thanks, Ada. Thank you, Zach. I know there was probably somebody else in here that I may have forgotten, but I appreciate it. So everybody have a good day.